20th day in the war, and now energy infrastructure, oil refineries are now being hit. And this is coming in from both sides. Now President Trump has issued a strong warning, especially to Iran, following the escalation over the South Pars gas field attack, which President Trump says that Israel did it out of anger, and only a small section of the field that has been hit. However, he has issued another strong warning to Iran. Let's take a look as far as his latest post on Truth Social, where President Trump says that Israel, out of anger for what has taken the place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at the major facility known as South Pars gas field in Iran. A relatively small section of the whole has been hit. United States knew nothing about this particular attack, and the country of Qatar was in no way, shape or form involved with it, nor did it have any idea that was going to happen. And this happened when Iran has retaliated when it comes to the energy infrastructure of Qatar. Now, saying that unfortunately Iran did not know this or any of the pertinent facts to South Pars attack and unjustifiably and unfairly attacked a portion of Qatar's LNG gas facility. No more attacks will be made by Israel. Well, this is now being declared by President Trump pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pars field, unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent, in this case, Qatar, in which instance the United States of America, without any witness or help of consent of Israel, would massively blow up the entire South Pars gas field at an amount of strength and power that Iran has never seen or witnessed before. So we're looking at this gas field in Iran, which is said to be the world's biggest one, and a small section of that, President Trump says that Israel, without any consent or approval of the United States, conducted a strike over there. But another warning, Srinjoy, good morning, is coming from President Trump himself, however, stating that he had no prior knowledge of Israel's strike. Is that even possible?
Well, first of all, President Trump is very concerned that if there are more attacks on Iran's oil facilities, there will be attacks by Iran on the other Gulf facilities, refineries, oil fields, and so on. This will put even more pressure on oil supply lines. And if that happens, there's likely to be more inflation in America. So if oil prices go up to $5 a gallon or so, then there is immediately going to be a lot of people very upset, because they will say, and these will include the MAGA crowd, the people who are absolutely Trump's people. And they will say that, look here, we are paying $5 per gallon, and that money we could be spending on our other issues, on other things, on our domestic consumption. Why should we pay $5 per gallon for oil? Now, once that question is raised, he knows that he is not going to be the most popular person in the United States. And the midterm elections are coming up. So all these calculations would have also been made by the Trump people.
And, you know, Saudi has been hit, Qatar has been hit, you know, wherein then comes to their state-run energy company saying that there were multiple fires that were set by the Iranian strikes on its main gas facility. And they said that extensive damage that has been caused after Tehran said that it would retaliate in kind for an attack on its own energy infrastructure. Srinjoy.
Yes, the whole point is that initially when the war started, you didn't see any attacks on any oil fields, any refineries, nothing at all. What were the attacks on? For instance, the Americans and the Israelis attacked the political leadership, and successfully. They attacked the Revolutionary Guards. Yes, successful. They attacked military sites, the Navy, the Air Force, the air defense, the nuclear facilities. All of these things were attacked, but not the oil fields, not the refineries, never. Even when Kharg Island was hit, you remember the Revolutionary Guard posts were hit, not the oil dumps, not the pipelines. Now, suddenly, that petroleum facilities have been hit, it means the the war is changing. And the Iranians have been doing this for a while. They've hit Bahrain, they've hit Saudi Arabia. Both were refineries. They've hit Qatar more recently. They've hit the UAE. So the Iranians are very clear. They want to hit oil-related targets, including refineries. The Saudis and the Bahrain and the one in Bahrain are the best examples of that.
Yes.
If the war extends to oil facilities, then the war is widening and it's becoming more damaging and more worrying for people all over the world, including in India.
So will it include other countries now? You know, for example, the UK, they seem to be saying that they were working to provide more support for its partners in the Gulf who are under attack from Iran, because it seems that they are also planning to buy extra missiles to protect the region. But will it actually drag other countries? Because President Trump has issued a warning to Iran, touch Qatar and then you are doomed. Because this is now coming at a time when Trump saying that the United States had no prior knowledge of Israel's strike. And Mr. Rabindra Sachdev is also connected with us. Sir, good morning. Is this the possibility that Israel carried out this unilateral attack on a gas field in Iran, which Iran has now retaliated when it comes to attacking another energy facility in Qatar? This is getting even bigger now, sir.
Yeah, true. It is getting bigger, and it could be the truth that Trump did not know or Israel did not inform America. I mean, if the president says that he was not informed, either he was not informed or America was not informed, but any which way the information did not reach him. But what this also indicates is that there is a growing pattern now that we are seeing. This whole discussion where it's going between the U.S. and Israel seems to be that U.S. is not on board with Israel on everything. And Israel, in a way, is going rogue, if one could say. So I can see, we can see some, some stress building up within the U.S. administration. Only yesterday, the counterterrorism chief resigned due to this fact that Israel is the one who's pushing America and is the Jewish lobby in America which has forced Trump into the war. So I think we will see more and more such gaps coming up. But on the whole, they both are stuck. I mean, America is stuck, Israel is stuck. They want to go ahead with it, and that's what we will keep seeing these differences come up, but at the same time, we will keep seeing the attacks go on.
But 20th day of the war that is now been marked today, Mr. Sachdev, because the bigger threats that are now concerned, because Tehran has been responding with equal ferocity. And now President Trump has issued a warning, touch Qatar or any other Gulf nations, then Iran is doomed. Because US has also been very cautious. We've seen the kind of approach that happened in Kharg Island. The oil infrastructure was not touched. The military infrastructure, however, President Trump says was decimated.
No, true, but in a way, there is no way out for Iran. What can Iran do? Iran has to fight for its survival now. If the present regime can continue to be in power, right? They have no way out. They've dug in their heels. It's a matter of their survival now. And I think that's what is making this conflict so intense and so dangerous, of course. The Iranian regime, I think, sees no way out. So if they see no way out, they will keep fighting. And yes, initial days or week or so, attacks were not there on the energy infrastructure. But then, it's like if you're thinking, you do whatever you can do, and I think that's what Iran is doing.
Yes, because tensions have spiked immensely and dramatically after the attack on oil refineries and energy infrastructure and gas facilities has now been done. And both sides, that's what we are looking at. Mr. Sachdev, I appreciate you joining us here on the broadcast. Let's, in the meantime, also talk about what Iran has been saying. Because Iran is now blaming Israel for a strike on the South Pars gas field, one of the world's largest energy reserves. In retaliation, Iran has fired missiles at the energy facilities in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, triggering a wider regional crisis. Qatar Energy has now reported extensive damage to the Ras Rafan, while Saudi Arabia says it has intercepted multiple ballistic missiles and a drone attack. Now, this escalation that has hit global energy markets, pushing oil prices higher, raising concerns over supply disruptions. Well, as far as this Israel strike has now been condemned as dangerous, Shinroy, what has been Israel thinking? Because Mr. Rabindra Sachdev is of the opinion, as we were speaking to him, that Israel in a way seems to be going rogue as far as when it comes to its retaliatory strikes that are now concerned. We're looking at the administration, the military, and now energy and oil reserves that are now being hit on part of Israel.
Well, if you see in these last 19 days or 20 days, the Israelis and the Americans together have hit 7,000 targets. 7,000 targets in Iran. So what is left to target? You would imagine that the only targets that are still available, that are still not touched, were the oil-related targets, whether it's oil fields, whether it's oil refineries, whether it's oil pipelines, whether it's oil dumps, all of that. So naturally, they sort of presented themselves. And maybe this was done without the US president knowing, without consulting the Americans, but they were targeted. There's been one attack so far on Iranian oil, and that led to further attacks by the Iranians on the Qataris. So the Americans see this is something that can go out of control. It could really hit the oil pipeline, oil supplies all over the world. And as a result, the Americans have urged restraint. Americans do not want oil facilities to be hit in the Gulf countries by Iran, or Iranian oil facilities to be touched. You spoke about Kharg Island.
Yes.
You spoke about the time when the Americans hit the Revolutionary Guard facilities, but not the oil fields.
Absolutely, because US has been saying, however, both sides and both ways, Shinroy, President Trump has issued a warning that he had said that he would, not hesitate when it comes to reconsidering his decision on the oil facilities in Kharg Island to be hit. And now he says, touch Qatar and you are done. Because this seems to be a straight-out warning that he's given to Iran. But another more, breaking update that is now coming in. Let's in the meantime talk about the response that the UAE has been giving. Because the UAE has also condemned Iran's what they labeled as terrorist attack